Hello, it's me, your favorite book reviewer, Julian Greystoke. Wahey! Today I'm here with a bit of an interesting one. This was a request by a patron of mine. They know that I can occasionally enjoy a cozier story, so they were like, what about this one? This one, it's a bit different, and they were like, I know it's not normally your thing exactly, Julian, but I hope that you get some enjoyment out of it. Now, I'm gonna come right up and say up front, to this patron who may be watching this, I didn't like it. But I understand that there is an audience for it, a loving, I'm looking over here at my tablet, its fan base loves it. This thing is beloved. It has a 4.5 rating on Goodreads. So I understand that this is a taste thing. This book is not to my taste at all in basically any way. But a lot of people love it. So if this sounds like your thing, go check it out. And I understand that there is a fan base for books like this. All of the issues that I have with this book are probably reasons that the fans love it. So know that going in, that this book is just very, very outside of what I enjoy, and it has not converted me. I gave it 1 star. I would go lower if I could. So let's talk about why. I'm sorry, dear patron. I will say, I'll say the thing that I liked about it up front, and then we're just going to dive into spoilers and the things that I didn't like, because there was only one thing that I liked about this book. And that was, earlier in the book, I liked the animal's point of view. I liked the rooster's point of view. It was mostly the rooster at the beginning, whose point of view we got. And then other animals, we got their points of view later on. And in the beginning, I liked it until the animals became too powerful, and then I didn't like that either. But I did enjoy, there wasn't enough of it because we kept being with a dumb old human character, but I did enjoy the rooster's point of view early in the book. All right? So, patron, if you do not want to watch me shred this book and say why every detail about it that you probably love that I in fact hate, this is your time to head on out, and that's fine. I'll see you. Tell your ma I says hi. Watch out for deer. But the rest of us are going to dive into Beware of Chicken. Now, let me just say, if you are a fan of Beware of Chicken, it's really unnecessary for you to go into my comments and tell me that I'm dumb. I accidentally stumbled into a rather loyal fan base with a different review that I did, the one about the dinosaurs in Vietnam. I did not realize that the fan base was very attached to that book and very unable to hear that it might be pretty flawed. So if you are a fan of this book, this is not a review where I'm going to be praising it. And if you know about yourself that you can't handle somebody who didn't like this book, then I'm going to just kindly ask, why are you here? You can leave a comment, you can leave your thumbs down, but it really only helps me in the algorithm ultimately. So the best way to stick it to me is to just stop watching right now so that your view doesn't count for YouTube. All right? Because I know this book has fans, and they're probably going to be real mad. Anyway, so let's read the blurb for the book Beware of Chicken. Jin Rue wanted to be a cultivator, a man powerful enough to defy the heavens, a master of martial arts, a lord of spiritual power. Unfortunately for him, he died, and now I'm stuck in his body. Arrogant masters, heavenly tribulations, all the violence and bloodshed? Yeah, no thanks. I'm getting out of here. Farm life sounds pretty great. Tilling the field by hand is fun when you've got the strength of 10 men. Though maybe I shouldn't have fed those spirit herbs to my pet rooster. I'm not used to seeing a chicken move with such grace. But Chi makes everything kind of wonky, and that's probably fine. Instead of a lifetime of battle, my biggest concerns are building the house, the size of my harvest, and the way the girl in the nearby village glares at me when I tease her. A slow, simple, fulfilling life in a place where nothing exciting or out of the ordinary ever happens, right? The first volume in the blockbuster progression fantasy series with more than 16 million reviews on Royal Road. Wow. Anyway, this book already committed a thing that I don't like, and that is I do not like blurbs in first person. I don't like the character to be talking to me in the blurb. I am in the camp that the blurb should always be in third person, even if the book is in first person. But the blurb does reveal one of the very first things that I hated. Actually, it reveals a couple of things that I hated. That being that the main character is not from the world of the cultivators. It's a whole, apparently, I've done a little bit of research. There's a whole genre, cultivators. It's like a newer genre in a vaguely Japanese/Chinese-esque setting where people are like born with really powerful chi, and then they spend a lifetime getting really good and really strong and like leveling up with their chi until they can like fight gods. And that's like the whole point of it. And my understanding is that most of those books are pretty like serious and dour. And so this one was subverting those trends by being upbeat and silly and like a comedy version of those. And that's fine, but A, I don't read those books, and B, I don't read comedy. So we have this vaguely Chinese/Japanese magical world where the character of Jin is like training to become a cultivator at a temple when he dies. And for no reason that's ever explained in the book, because it doesn't matter, the spirit of a person from our world gets put into him. And that person completely has no backstory or history out in the other world, is never a fish out of water, just completely takes it in stride and decides, I'm not going to be a cultivator, I'm going to go be a farmer. This only exists within this book for two reasons. One, so that the main character has all of the modern day knowledge. So if he ever needs to know something or fix something or build something or do something, he knows how it works because he's from our world. I'm assuming he's like 60 or something because he's got a lot of knowledge. But also, it allows the narrative voice of this book to be another thing that I absolutely hated. Absolutely cringe. Like, some people find it funny, and like a lot of people find it funny. This is as a comedy book, but the voice of the main character is just millennial dude cringe. And I hate, like, every moment that we were in the main character's head, I wanted to punch him. I know I would lose because he's a cultivator, and as we established, he's more powerful than everybody. I would lose immediately, but my desire to punch him is so strong, I would do it anyway. I hated the narrative voice of this book. It made me want to quit so many times. Like, if we had everything else about this book without the narrator's absolutely obnoxious voice, I think I could have tolerated it more. But the way he talks, loathing, flames on the side of my face. But yes, it also, like I said, allows him to just have all of the knowledge, so he never has to wonder anything, but also he doesn't have to wonder about this world because he conveniently also has the knowledge of the person whose body he jumped into, so he never has to really wonder about anything ever. And like, I know I've said makes it easy is a theme in some books that I've read, but this book is like even worse. Makes it easy is an understatement. Everything this guy does, he just does. There are he faces no challenges, he faces no hardships. He sets his mind to doing something and then he does it because he's stronger than everybody, smarter than everybody, funnier than everybody, better than everybody. He's also super friendly and morally correct at all times. So if you love a quintessential Gary Stu character, then this is the book for you. If you are craving a Gary Stu so Gary Stewy that he's like almost lapping himself, then this is the book for you. But he decides he wants to be a farmer, and so he goes to this part of the world where it's really hard to farm because he wants to be alone for some reason. I don't know. At somewhere he obtains chickens. I either missed it or he just like suddenly has them. Either one could be true, honestly, because I found the voice so annoying that I kept zoning out all the time as a defense mechanism. But it feels like he just suddenly had chickens in a scene. He was like, add my chickens. And I'm like, when did you get chickens? But okay, I guess you have them now. So he and his chickens that he just has now go up to this place, this isolated place, and he starts building his farm. And he, like it says, he's doing it with his bare hands because he is super strong and super magical. And slowly, as he's around this place, because he's like so magical, he has so much chi. He's just like the best of the best, really. Again, the Gary Stewiest Gary Stu.
That you are the most important, most talented, most interesting, and most extraordinary person in the universe.
So he's out here being just the coolest dude who was ever cool. Anything that comes his way that would normally trouble other people, he just hits it with his shovel in comedic fashion and it's gone, or it's dead, or it's run away, whatever it is. So he's building his farm, and because he has just so much magic radiating from him, he's starting to heal the land, and also he's like creating like plants and stuff that are magical, and just eating these magical items. And also I think just being in his presence is making his animals sentient. Some of them, not all of them, never completely clear why, except for just like some animals are inherently better than other animals. It's like every animal is equal, but some animals are more equal. Because like the rooster gets to be sentient, but none of the hens ever do. And it's never clear why. But the rooster becomes intelligent, and we do start getting the rooster's point of view. And like I said, at the beginning, I liked it, because the rooster really, he looks at the human as a god. And he's like, I want to be like him, I want to train like him, I want to become better, I want to, you know, go through my hero's journey, but as a chicken. And like at the beginning, it's fine. But eventually the chicken also becomes uber powerful. And he reaches his like peak of growth like halfway through the book, and then he's just an uber powerful chicken. And other animals too begin to change. So there's a fish that this guy, because he's making this like palatial mansion basically in his little farm, and like he has like modern amenities that he's figured out how to do in this ancient world. So like his dishwasher is this fish who he has a river flowing. He let the river flow through his house, and he puts his dishes in the river, and the fish cleans the dishes, cleans the food off the dishes. So like the fish eventually gains sentience, and two of the main characters' pigs gain sentience, and a cat and a rat all gain sentience, and just like have chi of their own, and like to different levels. Like the boy pig doesn't have as much as the girl pig, and they also go on their own adventures. They go out and they deal with like supernatural enemies without the main character even knowing. So his life makes it easy that eventually he doesn't even have to go deal with things. His animals do it for him. This man is coasting through life on like not even easy mode. He's on invincible mode. He's entered the code in the beginning of the game where he just has infinite money, infinite hit points, infinite everything, infinite charisma points, whatever it is. He's got all of it. He entered that cheat, and now he's just cruising through the world. So he goes to the nearby village because he's got to do business, and of course there he meets a girl, and she is incredibly bland. She is every girl character in these kinds of stories. Like, if you've seen a slice of life anime, she's the girl character in every single one of those. She's just charming and sweet and, oh no, my battery's running out, hang on. Anyway, yes, the girl character is charming and sweet and just sassy enough to be like a little bit spunky, but like not so much that she would ever challenge the male lead. And also when she gets drunk, she gets really horny. So, perfect woman, really. And so he's immediately in love with her, and the book keeps trying to be like, she was the plainest of her sisters. Oh, nobody would want her, but it's like,
sure, Jan.
And of course, he's only got eyes for her. Like, another woman shows up later, and she's objectively hot, but we make sure that we know that he thinks his wife, his future wife, she's eventually his wife at the end of this book, is the hottest. This book basically does end with their marriage, and then her getting pregnant right away. So, yay. This book, it's hard to describe the plot because there isn't one. He just comes and you watch him. It's like reading a Little House on the Prairie book, but without any like challenges ever. It's like if Pa on the Prairie was like, I want to build a root cellar. And then it's like, and so he built the root cellar, and it would go over the details of how he built the root cellar, but it'd be like he built it in a day by carving it out with his bare hands and wasn't tired afterwards. One of the things about him is that he exudes so much magic that other people who are like near him don't get tired, and their injuries heal faster and everything. And like I said, he starts to like literally heal the land around him. And so his farm is really, really prosperous because just his amazing presence, his just overflowing magic is healing the land. He's so good and amazing, you guys. I don't think I've made it clear how just like unspeakably perfect this main character is.
And to be clear, I understand that that's probably the point. I mean, there are a lot of anime that have the same issue. The main character is perfect and never loses, but people still love that anime. So whatever that anime does for people, I suspect this book is doing for people. However, it's not doing it for me. Like, this is the opposite of the kind of main character I like to follow. I want to follow a disaster. I want to follow somebody who is wrong and fails sometimes and isn't perfect and isn't powerful. Like, that's my ideal main character. So that's why this guy is so far the opposite direction.
Like, I don't know. I'm trying to find other things to say about this book because I don't want this review to be so short. But at the same time, there's no plot. Like, occasionally bad guys will show up and, like, threaten his farm. And then they will either be easily defeated by him or just defeated by his animals so he doesn't even know and have to do anything. There's no interpersonal conflicts. Like, there's one guy who not even doesn't like the main character, but just is weirded out by the main character. He's like, who is this guy? What's he up to? And that's as close to antagonistic as we get. At one point, like, I feel like the author was struggling to come up with things that could happen. So at one point, a female cultivator gets thrown into their lives by the plot, and they heal her because she was injured, and now she's their best friend and will always come around when they need her, and her life was changed by getting to hang around with the main character too. He's changing everybody's lives. Like, anybody who gets to know him, their life has changed for the better. They become better people. They become more determined. They become magical. Like, a couple of other characters, their chi is unlocked because they're friends with him, and they too decide to become magical farmers. There's no stakes, unless you count the stakes in his garden. There's no stakes. There's no danger. There's no threat. There's no conflict, basically of any kind. Occasionally the animals don't get along, but it's not really a big deal. There's nothing. This book has nothing except for a goofy character voice that's kind of funny that apparently a lot of people love. And, like, I don't understand why so many people love this. I guess maybe we are in such a state right now in the world that people are reaching for books that have no stakes and no conflict. People are like, I need the equivalent of somebody handing me the world's richest hot chocolate, wrapping a blanket around me, sitting me down in front of my favorite show, and taking care of all the housework for me, but a book. And I don't want that in my entertainment, personally. Like, it is the safest, coziest, fluffiest thing that you could possibly think of. And maybe a lot of people need that right now. That's not where I'm at yet. Anyway, that is not where I'm at. I despise main characters who are perfect and everything just works out for them. I'm gonna need a main character who's wrong sometimes and who struggles, and I'm gonna need some kind of plot. It doesn't have to be the fastest moving plot. I will follow a slow mover, but it has to exist. So, like, no tea, no shade if this is the kind of book you love. I do not understand your brain, but that's fine. You probably don't understand mine. You're probably like, why on earth would I want to read books that stress me out, Julian? This book is, other than the character's voice, very not stressful. And legitimately, like, you can zone out for long periods of time and come back and know exactly what's going on. I said in my Goodreads review that this book is the equivalent of watching someone else play Stardew Valley and you never get to play. So if you like watching other people play cozy games, read this book. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say about it. Like, what else is there to say? I get that it's a genre that's, like, up and coming. People are starting to really like slice of life, and I guess this cultivator thing is, like, becoming more of a thing. And like I said, this book is beloved. Beloved. The 5 stars. It's just baffling to me. Why? I mean, maybe, why don't I read some 5-star reviews and maybe I can understand why. Let me find a 5-star review. Tell me why you love this book. 5-star reviews, please. Okay, so a lot of the reviewers that are giving 5 stars are people who like the cultivation genre, but don't like that it's always so sad. So these are people who are really into books with overpowered main characters, but they want a happy version of that. So, like, that, I mean, that makes sense. This person says it has excellent world building. I disagree, but okay. The main character is lovable and charming with a hidden depth to him. Did we read the same book? I don't know. It's not making me understand. I think we just have very, very different viewpoints of what makes a main character have depth. We don't find out anything about his previous life in our world, aside from I think that he was a carpenter. because he's got to build his house. So it's like, conveniently, I was a carpenter in my past life. But that's it. We don't find out if he had family. We don't find out if he had friends. Did he have animals? Did he have aspirations to be a farmer back then too? Did he get along with his family? What were his relationships like? Was he sad? Was he happy? Was he what? We don't know. We don't care, because that history doesn't matter. The only reason that exists is so that he can talk like a modern millennial dude who never aged past 20. And which no one ever notices, by the way. Nobody else ever notices that he talks weird. And so that he can know things. So that he can build his like modern house in the ancient times. A lot of people are praising the humor and the heart. Oh, I guess one more thing I wanted to point out is to do with the sentience of the animals. Like I said, some animals become intelligent and some animals don't. And Jin does a little bit grapple with that, but he decides that he's going to keep eating meat, first and foremost, and he's fine with killing and eating animals as long as they haven't achieved sentience. So he'll kill pigs or he'll kill chickens as long as they aren't, like, able to speak, basically. Now, he does not grapple with the thought that perhaps they would eventually develop these abilities, like, because the pigs didn't start speaking until they were older. Yeah, so that's where he comes down on that. I am kind of like, that's like, he briefly grapples with the thorny idea of the fact that some of his animals have become sentient, and he's like, I'll just not eat those ones. And the animals know that he eats meat, and they too are like, but that is inferior. Those are inferior members of our species. They are not intelligent as we are. And so their chi will go back to the master because, like I said, they view the main character as like their god. So they're like, yes, these inferior ones, their chi will just go back to the master. And we are the superior ones, so we don't have to be killed and eaten. We are the master's servants in other ways. It's, But yeah, I'm just looking at 5-star reviews, and a lot of people just thought it was really funny and really heartwarming. Yeah, this book is absolutely hilarious. I don't think I laughed. Like, I don't think maybe one time in the book I let out a, little exhale. But most of the time I absolutely loathed this book and wanted to be done. It is so long, by the way. It goes on for such a long time with just nothing happening. The slowest moving book. But yeah, they're all like, it's just fun and it's just funny and heartwarming. And yeah, like I said, if you want something that has so few teeth to it that it's just gumming you to death, then this is the book for you. Again, I get the feeling from a lot of these 5-star reviews that a lot of these people are fans of the cultivation genre, and this is one of the first ones that melded cultivation and slice of life. So for some people, they already liked like uber-powered main characters, but they were just looking for something that was a little bit less intense. And here came Beware of Chicken. Also, I'm gonna really hope that the animals that gain sentience get extended lives, because one of them is a rat, who might be one of my favorite ones. And rats only live like 3 years maximum, so I'm gonna assume that she gets to have like an extended life because she's got magic now. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end this here. Again, I'm sorry to the patron who hoped that I would love this. This is so far opposite of my thing that I don't think I was ever going to be a convert. I think this is too much in this book that are all things stacked together that I don't reach for in a book. So this book they had no chance of like converting me. I don't read humor books very often. Like, I'm very selective about my humor. I don't like books with overpowered main characters. I like books to have a plot, at least something. Even if they're cozy, I'm going to need them to have a plot, and I'm going to need them to have some form of conflict happening somewhere. Yeah, so that was me. That was my thoughts. I'm sure you're going to go down in the comments and tell me why I'm wrong and I'm a horrible person and just don't understand fun, which is what everybody in the dinosaur book review told me. I just don't understand fun. But hey, at least I will give this book something. Unlike the dinosaur book, this didn't have any slurs in it. The bar is in hell. Anyway, for those of you who did make it through this review and don't hate me, I have a Patreon where you can support me and also help me self-publish my own books, like Adventurer Mate, which is behind me on my shelf. You can't really see it, which is what I would consider a cozy, but it's a cozy that has like a lot of action and like a plot. So if you're looking for a cozy that is like this, that book is not it, but if you're looking for a cozy in the fact that it does give you the warm fuzzies and it has a happy ending, then my book might be for you. Otherwise, I am also a freelance developmental editor, so if you have a book you'd like me to look at, so perhaps you have a cozy but you want to make sure that it's maybe not quite as boring as Beware of Chicken, you can shoot it my way and we'll talk. Everything is linked in my link tree in the doobly-doo. And now I will leave you and see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Good news, everyone!
It's patron time. Airy 925, Indigo Marmot, Choco Tina, Adriana, Laura, Wanda, Clara, Lisa, Jen, Tex, Moon Island, Zenith, Ashley, Corey, Bunny, Nemo, Tactical Hotdog, Haley, History Nerd, Pixelizzy, Raya, Christina, Cameron, Lady Kragan, Jose, Lunar Muse, AJ, Marshy, Semi-Dark, GK Scout, Annika, Jen, Tina, Laknanga, SB Boots, Martha Baggins, July, Bird Anonymous, Sarah, Kat, 78 kilograms of shade, Veda, Ingrid, Roma, Haley, Sam, Kira, Mooney, Pudamancer, Kohikaro, Kirsten, Bear, Jojo Bookish, Robin, Ursula, Caitlin, Jessica, KJ, Mufflier, Celia, Neon MVM, Deborah, Swamp Goblin Waifu, Sophia, Merween, Kit, Light Julie, Patrick, Callison, Vampire Antihero, Shelby, Jesper, Rennie, Scribbling Cat, Savvy, Jenny, and Amanda. Thank you all again so much for being my patrons. You keep the lights on around here.